So the impacts of climate change clearly impact other areas of sustainability, of environmental sustainability. Climate change is likely to lead to less fresh water, less food, and less land for the people of the world, and that means more conflict. And so we're talking about an impact on food security, we're talking about an impact on water security, and of course, we're talking about an impact on national security. With a growing global population, more competition for resources, we are going to be dealing with problems related to immigration, people who are displaced by climate change, moving into new regions and coming into conflict over resources with people who live in those regions. So in a sense, climate change impacts every aspect of sustainability. There are things that we can do in our everyday lives to decrease our carbon footprint, to help out with the problem of climate change, and that involves using more fuel-efficient vehicles, or bicycling to work, or using public transportation, purchasing appliances that use less energy, being less wasteful of resources, making changes in our food choices that favor more sustainable food practices. There are lots of things that we can do to decrease our own carbon footprint, and that helps out with the climate change problem. But we also need politicians, policymakers who are willing to act on this problem, who are willing to help incentivize the larger shift from fossil fuels towards renewable energy. And in part, that means activity on the part of citizens. That means people voting so that we elect policymakers who are willing to be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. Well, the Paris Agreement was an important first step, but it only gets us halfway towards the reductions in carbon emissions that we will need if we are going to limit warming below dangerous levels. So what that means is we have a lot more work to do. We need to commit to more stringent reductions in the next major climate conference. We need all the people of the world aligned in working towards this solution. One of the challenges right now is the fact that in the United States, we lack leadership at the national level. We have a president and a Republican-led Congress who refuse to act on the climate problem, who refuse to help incentivize a shift away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy, and who have become an obstacle when it comes to international negotiations like the Paris Treaty to reduce carbon emissions. So one of the challenges will be for the people of my country, the American people, to participate in the voting process to elect politicians who are willing to work with the rest of the global community in solving this problem. I want the United States to lead when it comes to climate action and not to be a hindrance when it comes to these international efforts.